not just a couple of these previous awards evenings. Couldn't make last year, for which apologies, but because of the marathon, which I ran not a few years ago, but actually just last year, 2009. And I have found in my 4 years as chairman of UK Athletics, I am just a sort of Joe Jogger, local club member, grind out some distance, very undistinguished. But unfortunately, people do recognise me now. There was a race in Worthing along the seafront earlier this year, which is very early in the season, early January, 5 miles out and back along the prom. And there's a little turn at the end where you have to go through a pair of bollards. And I went piling through. Maybe my elbow was out of it, and the guy next to me sort of stumbled sideways into the bollard, caught back up with me and said, "I'll make sure that's in AW this week." So unfortunately, there's no way to escape from pictures in the papers and occasionally on television and being recognised when I'm out in a vest. But there is an upside, and first upside is you do occasionally get an invitation to run a race, which maybe you otherwise wouldn't have got round to doing. And the Belfast Marathon last year was absolutely one of those. You also get a visit from the likes of Roy Corry the night before to give you a very encouraging cup of coffee or glass of wine to talk you through every nuance of the course, where to avoid the troubles and where to avoid the pitfalls and all those sorts of things. So I felt at the start I was very well prepared. But you know what it's like if you run a marathon, however well prepared you are. You do go through God's vengeance coming in, but you do go through those horrible dark moments when it's not quite as you thought it would be. But if you know that you know the organisers, and if you know they're going to be at the finish line, you better bloody get there. And I did have an embarrassing time my first year as UKA chairman, in which I ran the London Marathon for the 4th or 5th time, and I failed to finish. And nothing could have been more embarrassing because, of course, people absolutely knew I was doing it. So as I went through those dark moments at about miles 24, 25, I thought of the smiling features of John Allen, David Seaton, Roy Corry waiting for me. I thought I had to get there. And I must say, getting over the finish line with a PB, that fantastic crowd in the park at the finish, and seeing the 3 old devils just over the finish line handing out the medals was actually quite emotional. I never thought I'd well up at the thought of 3 old senior citizens waiting for me at the finish line of a marathon. But it did a little pull at my heartstrings, and yeah, it was great. And I have very fond memories of Belfast as a result. I certainly will come back and run the marathon again, if not next year, and then certainly as soon as I can.